Graceful Art Designs. Today I'm going to be doing a Dutch paw, which I'm going to be blowing out and then shaping with my finger into a vine, and then I'll leave it to dry and I'll just leave it like that, and maybe at a later stage I'll transform it into something more. So I've covered the canvas with the minty green, which is white. These are the colours I'm using: Prussian blue mixed with phthalo blue, cyan blue, sky blue light, silver, fluorescent blue and pearlescent white. And I'm going to just be laying them down. I'm not going to be using a lot of these colours because they're very dark and I don't want the painting to turn out completely dark. It was the phthalo blue and Prussian blue mix. I've made from just above the corner, I've just made kind of an S shape. So not going from corner to corner, just going through from one edge to the other through the centre. And now I used a teaspoon for that. With the cyan blue, I'm going to pour it out and make it slightly more. Oh dear, this is a bit more than I intended, because it's also quite an opaque colour. And that's followed by a stripe of sky blue light. And then the silver. And now the silver, sky blue light seems to disappear down here. So I'm going to use a bit more silver than I usually do because it always seems to disappear. So I'm going up and down twice, although it is coming out in a thinner stream. And then and now the fluorescent blue. And lastly, the pearlescent white. And if it hadn't spread out so much as it has, I would have made little wispies on the side, but it's so spread out that I don't think I'm going to need that. I'm starting on this end because I want to blow this off the edge. I mean, there was too much of the dark colours here. That's how it blew out, and I like it. I like the cells. I'm going to shape the petals a bit now, and I blew out a bit more on this side because there was too much white, and there's still too much white, but I'm sure those colours will come through. I'm surprised there's so much white because it's pearlescent white. Anyway, I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to just do a line through with my finger. Like that. And then I'll shape the petals as I go along. I might not be able to record all of it because I have to wipe my finger in between. There's a big little circle forming there. one, and second one. And these shapes might not hold. See how it's looking from this side. Just being careful not to get my sleeve in as I usually do. Don't want them all to be the same. That's interesting. Ultimately, I did not like how that blew out, even though I shaped it and I looked at the shape and I didn't like the shape either. So I scraped it all together, put it back in the jar, made one colour, and it's now a bluey colour so far. No minty green showing through, but that's okay. Now I will lay down the colours and try again. I lay down a lot less colour, but still they've spread out, but let's hope this will be better. So I'm going to start from a distance. Camera down. That's how it blew out this time, and I'm a bit happier. But this time I'm not going to use my finger. I'm going to take the back of the lower end of a paintbrush and just swipe it through from the top to the bottom. And now, if I can still see that line, I'm going to bring in the petals. So where I don't like the colour, I might paint it away, or I might just leave it and later on turn it into a colourful elephant. So here, for example, I like, this would be a nice petal, but this is in the way, so I guess it can be a small leaf. The blues are lovely, and I do like the way they've mixed with the other colours, with the pearlescent white. I blew them out with a straw where I didn't like the jagged edges of the shapes that the hairdryer had made, and I'll now have to wait and see how it dries, how the lines hold, and then decide whether I will keep it as it is or whether I will transform it into something more. But for now, I do like the colours and the mixing, and I think it's very pretty. It remains to be seen what this background colour will turn out to be. That's how the painting dried, and I think it's quite pretty. Some of my lines did move a bit, or I didn't see where I was going. But that line goes all the way through, and then some of these lines I'll have to paint around, like this one here. There isn't quite a bloom there, not a nice shaped bloom there. So I'll paint away that, and then I would put in this colour in here to separate the petals. So, but my choice is now actually whether do I want to keep it as a bloom, or will I transform it into something more like an elephant, which is what I had thought of originally. And what I like about using just painted water is that there's no, the paint from the blowout blends completely seamlessly into the background, even though you make the lines around it. You can't feel any difference. There's no, this painting is not raised over that. Whereas I found when I used medium, that the painting is a little raised, so then painting around it or painting away things becomes a little difficult to make them look seamless. But this one would work perfectly. I just don't want to lose the lovely cells and lacing that I have there, and the pearlescent. That wouldn't be part of the elephant if that was if I made an elephant, I would mainly use the central part. And then what would I do with this lovely pearlescent that's come through there and there, and the cells and lacing there, and there's a little pearlescent down here, but for the most part, the pearlescent has disappeared into the background. So that's my dilemma. What do you think? Please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from my viewers. I'm not going to do something more right now. I'm going to leave it for a few weeks and think about it, so I would love to hear your comments. Please like and comment and subscribe if you haven't already. Bye for now.